Hi, I'm Christina. I'm going to present about the introduction. So, Takaful was introduced back in 1984 in Malaysia. It was derived from the Arabic word kafala, means responsibility or joint guarantee between the participants against a loss that is already stated in the policy. Section 2 of IFSA 2013 defines Takaful as arrangement based on mutual assistance, which means Takaful participants contribute to a fund to provide mutual financial benefits payable to the participants. There are two types of Takaful, which are general Takaful and family Takaful. So, medical takaful is one of the types of family takaful. Next, conceptual aspects of medical takaful. Firstly, it is a Sharia-compliant health protection scheme based on the principles of ta'awun, which means mutual cooperation and also shared responsibility. Takaful also avoids elements of gharar, riba, and maisir. There are 4 types of medical health and insurance takaful policies, which include hospitalization and surgical takaful, rare disease or critical illness takaful, disability income takaful, and also hospital income takaful. You may also refer here for the differences between medical takaful and medical insurance.
Greetings and good day, Doctor. Today I will be explaining about the core operational aspects of medical takaful, especially focusing on how these programs are managed to ensure sustainability and also integrity. We'll start with the vital area of risk management in medical takaful. So medical takaful operators face several distinct risks. Firstly, underwriting risk. This is about setting accurate premiums, a complex task influenced by individuals' health factors, lifestyle, and a major external factor which is medical inflation. As healthcare costs rise due to new technologies and increased usage, the participant risk fund or PRF can quickly be depleted if premiums aren't right. Next, claims risks. This addresses the frequency and the severity of medical claims. Unexpectedly high claims rapidly exhaust PRF. To combat this, takaful operators heavily rely on the data analytics and dashboard to spot indifferences and also to prevalent fraudulent activities. Then we have operational risk, which includes issues such as delays in claim proceeding, technological glitches, and even human error. These seemingly minor issues can have insignificant financial consequences. A unique and critical risk is Sharia compliance risk. Any deviation from Islamic principles, for instance, involving riba or interest, undermine the validity of takaful interest and erodes participant trust. This demands extremely robust Sharia governance and regular audits. Now let's shift to financial in medical takaful, which directly supports the risk mitigation. A key element is the separate fund principle. Participant contribution can go into PRF, which is distinct from operator's fund. Any surplus in the PRF is given back to the participant, reinforcing mutual cooperation concept. Actual soundness is achieved through meticulous actuarial valuation and also robust reserves to cover future claim, all guided and regulators like Bank Negara Malaysia. This ensures scheme remains financially healthy. And finally, strong capital. Operators must maintain sufficient capital as per BNM requirement, providing a critical buffer for financial stability and security. In summary, effective management of a medical takaful product hinges on dual approach, meticulously in identifying and mitigating diverse risks, while simultaneously upholding stringent Sharia-compliant financial practices to ensure long-term stability and participant trust. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Safa Emran Natasha binti Jafar and my matric number 079201. So my part, I will be presenting on the medical takaful industry in Malaysia and its operational models and how they reflect Islamic principle to be applied in takaful management. So to begin with, takaful in Malaysia is regulated by Bank Negara Malaysia (BNM) and follows guidelines set by the Sharia Advisory Council. And BNM aims to make product delivery faster while also ensuring strong risk management and consumer protection. And one of the earliest Sharia-compliant medical insurance schemes was introduced in the 1990s by Takaful Malaysia, which is covering 36 critical illnesses. And these plans more appealing is that it gives the policyholder financial security and freedom of choice in treatment. So in terms of how takaful operates, we usually see 4 models. One of it is wakala, which is agency-based model, which is takaful operator act as an agent, or we call it as wakil, and it was manage the risk fund and earns a wakala fees. Next one is mudarabah, which is profit sharing model, which is profit are shared between the operator and participants. And also this kind of models is less commonly used due to the complexity of the model itself. And third one is wakaf model, which is endowment based, which is in right use in Malaysia, but it contributions treated as a charitable endowments, and it was managed collectively for the benefit of all the participants. And lastly, it was a hybrid model, which is the combinations of the elements of wakalah and mudharabah in one takaful models, and it offers more flexibility in fund and risk management. So all these models are grounded in Islamic principles, including ta'awun, mutual cooperation, tabarrul, donation, and the avoidance of riba, gharar, and maisir. And to conclude my part is that the medical takaful isn't just a financial tool, it's also a way to fulfill our responsibility in managing risk in line with Islamic teachings. As the Prophet Muhammad SAW said, tie your camel first, then put your trust in Allah. So this is hadith. Reminds us that we must first take actions to protect ourselves and only then place our trust in Allah. That's all for my part. Thank you.
My name is Fakir Shakila, number matric 078282, and I'll be presenting a case titled University Kebangsaan Malaysia and Zurich Takaful Malaysia Berhad. This case involves a dispute over a medical malpractice insurance claim indemnity under a Takaful policy following a negligence incident at a hospital owned by UKM. The three main issues in this case are whether Zurich Takaful was responsible to cover UKM for a medical negligence claim made by a patient named Henry Siang Len. Second, whether UKM had failed to disclose an important incident, which was a ketamine overdose, in their insurance proposal form. Third, whether Zurich had the right to reject the claim because of this non-disclosure. The challenges in this case are UKM knew about the ketamine overdose incident but did not inform Zurich when applying for the policy, even though the incident had been investigated internally by the hospital. It was left out of the Takaful proposal form. At first, Zurich provided legal assistance, but once they found out about the non-disclosure, the outcome of this case is that the court decided in favor of Zurich Takaful and ruled that UKM had breached the terms of the policy by not disclosing the incident, which was a requirement under the basis clause. UKM's claim was dismissed. Medical malpractice indemnity Takaful, or MMIT, is a Takaful coverage for hospitals and doctors against negligence claims. It covers legal costs and compensation if a patient is used for malpractice. It requires full disclosure of any known incidents when applying, and it includes a basis clause meaning all information in the proposal forms the basis of the contract. The MMIT claim process is quite straightforward. First, the person, like a hospital, must quickly notify Zurich of any claim or incident. Then they must submit a claim form and related documents. Zurich will appoint the lawyers to handle the case, and they will investigate and check for any known non-disclosure. Finally, Zurich decides whether to pay or reject the claim. In this case, it was rejected. And in conclusion, this case highlights the importance of full disclosure.
I'm now presenting on the Tentera Medic Care or TMC program, a group medical takaful scheme offered by Etika Takaful Berhad, one of Malaysia's takaful operators. The TMC program is designed to provide affordable and comprehensive medical protections, especially for members of military cooperatives. It offers benefits such as hospitalizations and surgical treatments, and is structured on the Islamic principles of wakalah and tabarruk. These contributions are pooled into a risk fund that's used to help any members in need. The scheme is usually managed with the help of third parties such as Mediscreen Sdn Berhad, which handles claim submissions and communications between members and Etika. To make a claim, the participants must submit a completed form along with medical documents like bills, admission records, and receipts. This must be filed within the deadline stated in the Takaful certificate. Moving to the case of Mediscreen Sdn Berhad and Koperasi Angkatan Tentera Malaysia Berhad 2017, this case highlights a breakdown in administrations. The issue arose when Mediscreen failed to notify the cooperative that Etika had terminated the coverage. As a result, the members continued to seek treatment without knowing their takaful protection has ended. The court found that Mediscreen breached its duty under the TPA agreement and ruled in the favor of the cooperatives. This case demonstrates how crucial timely communications and compliance are in managing takaful effectively. Thank you.
Next is the case of Koperasi Seberguna Pekerja-Pekerja Malaysia Berhad and Takaful Nasional Sdn Berhad. This case involves a group medical Takaful scheme provided by Takaful National for cooperative members. It offered coverage for hospitalization, surgery, and treatments based on Sharia principles, where members contribute into a risk fund to help each other. The main issue was whether Takaful National misrepresented the policy terms to the cooperative and whether BFI insurance brokers acted as Takaful National's agent. The challenges arose when Takaful National claimed there was a 95% liability cap and a stop-loss limit, but these terms were not written into official policy. The cooperative also claimed that they were not properly informed of the changes from their pursuit scheme, and many claims were unfairly rejected without clear reasons. The court ruled in favor of the cooperative. It found that no proof of the alleged limits in the policy and confirmed that BFI was acting on behalf of Takaful National. The court also held that Takaful National breached its duty of utmost good faith by refusing valid claims. The cooperative's claim was allowed and the cost awarded. First scheme offered by Takaful National medical coverage for cooperative members and their families, covering hospitalization, surgery, and necessary treatments. Based on Sharia principles, members contribute into risk funds to help one another through the concept of tabarruk. For the claim process, members need to submit a claim form, original medical bills, and doctor's reports, either through a cooperative broker or directly to Takaful National. Claims are also then assessed and paid from the risk fund.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Yasmin Shabika binti Asmarizan and my metric number is 076979. So I'm going to present about the other pertinent matter that related to medical takaful. So firstly is the issue and challenges, which includes the medical inflation. So medical inflation refers to the ongoing increase in the cost of healthcare services, including the hospital stays, medications, and also treatments. So when medical inflation causes healthcare costs to rise sharply, so the fixed or slowly adjusted contribution rates become insufficient to cover the increasing claim payouts. So these high claim ratios threaten the sustainability of healthcare insurance products. So the recent example that we can look into is the BNM had to take several interim measures to curb the impact of rising medical and health insurance and takaful premiums on policyholders, which took effect on 15 January 2025. So the second issue is the increasing number and value of claims. So in medical takaful, all the participants contribute to a shared fund known as the tabarruk fund, and the pool is used to pay claims for the participant who fell ill or need medical treatments. So when the number of costs rise quickly, so the fund runs out more quickly than it. So the recent example we can look into is for the Financial Stability Review for the second half of 2024 report by the BNM. So in this report, it is said that the takaful operators experienced increased net underwriting losses in the second half of 2024, primarily due to the rise of medical payouts. So a few causes behind of this issue is including the higher incidence of chronic and lifestyle disease, which leads to chronic claims rather than one-time payout. So the second pertinent matter related to medical takaful is the medical takaful in another country product. So firstly is in Indonesia, which operates alongside with the country national healthcare known as BPJS Kesehatan. One of the company is the asuransi Takaful Keluarga, which include the product Takaful Kesehatan Kumpulan File Medicare Go. So the second country is United Arab Emirates, which in this country, medical takaful is mandatory, particularly in Dubai and also Abu Dhabi, where the government regulations require employees to provide healthcare coverage for the employees. So these takaful providers offer medical plans that comply not only with Sharia principle but also health regulations set by the authorities. So in conclusion, Malaysia can take this country as an inspiration to improve our healthcare and also medical takaful in Malaysia.
These are the recommendations to address the highlighted issue. Firstly, takaful company must raise the public awareness about medical takaful. The company also must focus on the locals' needs, and the agents must have a sense of responsibility to ensure the best for the participant. Secondly, the government must counter the issue of medical inflation by standardizing the price of medications, skills, and services. The government may urge the hospital to publish the price list for the medical procedures, room rates, and medications. The government too may give incentive to The government too may give incentives to manufacture the generic medication. The third recommendation is the takaful company must determine a mandatory deductible payment where the policyholders need to pay prior to making claims. This encourages participants to be more mindful of their healthcare claims. Fourth, the company may prepare a wider medical coverage at an affordable price, which is accessible for the B40 group. Established based on fairness, transparency, and the absence of the elements of riba, gharar, and maisir, makes medical takaful appealing option not only for Muslims but all Malaysians who seek a more responsible healthcare protection system. However, public awareness must be strengthened by focusing on the everyday concerns of the people. With a strict implementation and effort from both the government and Takaful operators, medical Takaful can grow into a more trusted, sustainable and inclusive protection system for the Malaysian citizens.